Damsel is supposed to be a not saved by the prince kind of movie. It starts by telling us
There are many stories of chivalry, where the heroic knight saves the damsel in distress. This is not one of them.
the plot of the movie is pretty simple. Elodie, who is a princess in a small kingdom, is chopping wood to save her people from the cold. Fast forward, we meet her father and this lady, and her father has good news. A prince from a wealthy kingdom has asked for Elodie's hand in marriage, and Elodie says money is not cause for marriage. But she agrees because the match will be beneficial to her kingdom. They are shipped to Oria, the prince's kingdom, and they wait for the day of the marriage. But after a meeting between Elodie's father and the queen of Oria, the prince's mother, Elodie's father became standoffish. His wife asked him the reason for his disquiet, but he shuns her. Oh, and Elodie actually has a stepmother. So her stepmother goes to the queen to see whether they could have some little girl talk. But the queen was not interested and calls out Elodie's stepmother on her humble beginnings.
Was a rope maker, was he not?
The finest in the city.
Elodie's stepmother later warned Elodie not to carry on with the marriage. But Elodie, after a little chit-chat with the prince, is convinced that maybe, somehow, the marriage will work out. After the wedding ceremony, the prince, Henry, says that there is one more step to be taken, and he takes Elodie to some place with all this weird mask wearers standing by, because they are afraid of COVID. It gets weirder when Elodie's and the prince's palms were slashed so that Elodie could become a proper princess by having royal blood. And don't ask any questions, because I don't know how that is supposed to work. The queen then delivers this speech.
3 princesses met their end in the belly of the beast, and a kingdom was born.
What? What just happened? Sorry, one more time. Okay, got it. Elodie finds herself in a cave. Chasm? Hole? I don't know. And this is where the fun starts. She meets this dragon who is like, girl, what is your name? Because I like to know the names of my victims before I eat them.
Speak your name.
Elodie then discovers that she is not the first girl to be thrown down there. So they play hide and seek with the dragon, violently, of course. Elodie finally escapes the dragon. Later, her father came to rescue her and confessed that he couldn't live with himself after selling Elodie for gold. The dragon killed him for daring to come to rescue Elodie, and I wonder how the dragon was not able to smell a lack of royal blood in her father. Oh well. Trouble stares again after the queen took Elodie's sister and sacrificed her to the dragon after finding out that Elodie escaped. And so Elodie goes back to save her sister, and there she had a deep conversation with the dragon, where she told her, yes, the dragon is a girl, that she had been tricked to believe that all the girls she had burned to death were innocent, and not of royal blood, but were only married into the royal family, as if that would justify the acts of the dragon. So, fast forward, and Elodie is given a Daenerys Targaryen moment, where she enters the palace and finds that the prince is about to have another wedding. Her dragon burns the royals to ashes, and Elodie returns to her kingdom with a dragon, and they lived happily ever after. The end. So here's the problem with this movie. Throughout the entire movie, Elodie is just a girl who basically survives an ordeal with a dragon. The audience doesn't know what she wants or needs. We don't know her vulnerabilities, her secrets, her deepest fears, her happy moments, her sad moments, her shame or failure, her pride and achievements, and what stands in her way of reaching her desires, or anything at all. The audience doesn't know who she is, except for the minor details, like her hair color and where she lives. Elodie is basically an idea of a character who never got to be that character, but a fleeting shadow of it. The problem is that the movie was focused on the girl boss message, that it failed to develop the character of Elodie. Elodie does not go from weakness to strength, Elodie goes from strength to strength. And why should an audience root for a character who has it all? Yes, you may root for Elodie to escape the dragon, but that's it. There is no solid connection between Elodie and the audience. Another issue is the dragon. The dragon, like Elodie, has no character arc. He doesn't go from regret to redemption, he goes from vengeance to vengeance. I mean, it's definitely wrong for the king to kill the dragon's hatchlings, but to demand that the king gives out his entire bloodline for generations to pay for the crime of killing the dragon's hatchlings doesn't make any sense. And then at the end, he burns the royal family because they tricked her the whole time. Really? Then what's the moral of the story? I mean, if the dragon wanted an eye for an eye kind of justice, then he could have demanded that the king give him his 3 daughters, and that would have put an end to it. But I guess there's no retribution for strong female dragon, and girl boss Elodie. The movie had a solid base for conflict between the royals and the dragon, but it just threw it away by shoving in Elodie as the central character of the story. And I kept wondering why the size of the dragon changed in every scene. But if you enjoyed this film, no hard feelings. I was surprised when the prince threw Elodie into that hole. Oh well, thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.